Kicks 105.5 WKXH. Good morning, I'm JJ. It is Wednesday, October 5th at 7:50 and 40 degrees outside. This morning we have Mike Barrett from the Barrett Insurance Agency with us. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, JJ.
How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. The colors are changing. It's fall looking pretty decent right now. They're saying peak could be really any day now. Is that what I've been hearing?
Yeah,
Especially, the higher elevations, I guess, is what I heard. But
I went out for a drive this weekend, and it wasn't quite peak.
Yep.
But it was still pretty nice.
Some nice colors out there. Nice colors. So, for good policies this morning, do you have any idea what we're going to talk about?
I do.
All right. Good, because I don't. So.
Comprehensive.
Exactly. Comprehensive coverage. So we're talking about auto insurance. And the way that auto insurance works is in order to drive legally in Vermont, and for many cases as well in the Live Free or Die state, New Hampshire too, is you need to have liability coverage. It's called compulsory coverage. The state requires you to have liability, and you can choose the limits beyond the minimums. But beyond that, it's really catering the policy to your style, likes, and desires. So comprehensive is where we go this morning. Comprehensive, what is that? Well, it's an additional piece of coverage that covers things such as lightning. Think about all the flooding in Florida. Flooding. Think about how many cars got flooded. Mind-blowing, the amounts there. But yeah, even though flood's not automatically included on a homeowner policy or a business owner's policy, it's part of the comprehensive list of perils on an auto policy. So it also cover if you're parked in a garage and the garage collapses or catches fire. The garage is not going to cover that damage to your car. It would only come from coverage if you had it on your car, which is something a lot of people believe is the opposite. But no, that's the way it works. It's also going to cover hitting an animal. And for me, the most important one, because I think it's the one that's most likely to happen, glass coverage. And not just windshield, right? When you think of glass coverage on an auto policy, your first thought goes to windshield. Well, you have a lot of glass on your car. You've got windows on all of your doors. You have a back window. These are all things that are going to be covered by that peril of glass as well.
And so recently, I've been reading on the news, there's been a rash of car burglary.
Oh, yeah. I missed the most important one, theft. Yeah.
Theft.
Another important
vandalism.
One. Yep. That one as well. Yeah. Those are also covered perils on comprehensive. So, comprehensive is just what it is. I mean, it's not like you're going to look under the definitions, if you ever did, on your policy and find a list of perils under comprehensive. Comprehensive is, hey, if we don't exclude it, we cover it. And so that's why you're hearing and seeing such a broad array. I've even had a mouse get into my engine compartment and eat away. I had a Ford Edge at the time, and it was like a nice rubber mount that was on top of the engine. Had the Ford logo. Looked real nice until the mice decided to make a nest and use pieces of that for their nest. So they ate it all up, or at least parts of it, and that was covered subject to my deductible on comprehensive. So a great piece of coverage to have. A lot of people, when they have older model cars, or even when they pay off a loan, they're required, if they have a loan, to carry full coverage. Full coverage, a misnomer, of course, is what I always say, but full coverage carrying comprehensive as well as collision. Collision being the one that covers physical damage to your car as the result of impact with other property. But many folks will often take that off, right? They'll say, I don't need collision anymore, I own the car outright. Well, always double check the value of the car. But if you have even a really old car or an older car that you don't believe holds a tremendous amount of value, maybe it's a $1,500 beater for whatever it is, not necessarily a bad thing to have comprehensive, because I don't care how old your car is, glass loss is a very likely occurrence and not a bad thing to have covered and not have an unexpected out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of construction vehicles out there nowadays, especially with the whole infrastructure thing, and they're doing a lot of work out there, and I had a rock hit my hood and chipped my paint.
Oh, yeah.
Would that cover?
Chipping your paint? Yeah, it's comprehensive. That'd be comprehensive.
Hey, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Falling object, flying object, absolutely. So, but again, it's going to be subject to your policy deductible. And remember, loss settlement's always going to be based on the actual cash value of the vehicle, but they are going to do what's necessary and right to correct the damage to the vehicle. So it's something that you just need to be aware of. And understand that different companies have different rules with whether you can have comprehensive coverage on certain types of vehicles, like salvage titles or rebuilt titles. Some companies do have limitations on that, and that's kind of a weird one, right? If you have a salvaged or rebuilt title, why is it a salvage or rebuilt title? It's because the vehicle at one point was deemed a total loss, meaning an insurance company paid out on that thing. and it was no longer allowed to be driven, or it was deemed a total loss. Maybe it could be driven if it was repaired, but maybe the damage to the vehicle was worth more than the vehicle itself, or cost more than the vehicle itself. So some companies do have some level of apprehension with putting physical damage coverage on those, but there are companies that do allow it. So it's worth having a dialogue and figuring that out so that you're not caught off guard.
And so when you bundle, because we were talking about this before we went on, when you bundle with other types of insurance like homeowner insurance, renter's insurance, you get obviously additional protection for your home, or
you get discounts, additional discounts, or maybe
additional discounts.
And some companies even make coverage only available if you are bundling. And they'll say, well, if you have a bundle, well, then we can add this particular endorsement. It's kind of special for people who have multiple policies with us. Not many companies do that, but some do, and they like to incentivize the bundling option. But yeah, with companies like Progressive and Safeco, and many others for sure, but those two immediately come to mind because they sell so many lines of insurance. Dairyland's another one. If you have an auto policy and then get a motorcycle policy or a snowmobile policy, you're going to get multi-policy discounts. So it's called bundling because it sounds good. It's a nice packaging description, but it's about having more than one policy with a company, and everybody does have some level of discount if you have more than one. So there you go.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, let's see. Anything else we got?
No, I think I'm tapped out.
You're tapped out. It's only Wednesday.
Well, yeah, I know. That's probably not a good thing.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning. And if somebody wants to reach out to you, if they have any insurance questions, how can they reach you?
Yes, and I'm not really tapped out. I was just being silly. You can give us a call, 748-5224. Find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
Well, thanks so much for coming in, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Sounds great. Be well.
All right, that was Mike Barrett from the Barrett Insurance Agency right here on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, Vermont on Kicks 105.5.